students, we are going to move further in the chapter. What is democracy? Why democracy? Here we are going to discuss the point major decisions taken by the elected leaders. It is an essential point, fundamental point of democracy. Let's discuss the example of Pakistan. In Pakistan, in 1999, General Pervez Musharraf, who was a military head, all the powers were in his hands. He led a coup in 1999 and he overthrew a democratically elected government in Pakistan. And he became all in all in Pakistan. Later on, he changed his designation as a chief executive, and after that, he declared himself as the president of Pakistan. In 2002, he conducted a referendum and he got the extension of 5 years. Means now he got more time to become the president, to remain the president in Pakistan, even though that referendum was criticized by the Pakistani media, human rights organizations and democracy activists. So this is an example of Pakistan that a referendum was conducted. After overthrowing the government, a referendum was conducted just to take the opinion of the people. Referendum means here to take the direct opinion of the people, and he got the extension, he increased his power, and he became a very powerful person in Pakistan, so that he could use the powers as per his wish. So the military head and military officials could use the powers. Even that it was included the malpractices, fraud, and it was criticized, but these criticism was not given any space in the example or in the case of Pakistan. After that, some constitutional amendments, changes we find through the legal framework order. We come to the legal framework order. In this constitution was amended, and some points we find here that according to this change in the constitution, president got more power, because president now has the power to dismiss the national assemblies which were elected through the election. President got the power to dismiss the provincial assemblies which were elected through the elections. And military officials, they got the domination, they got the power. They got the power to take the decision, final decision on the civilian cabinet. They formed the civilian cabinet, but the final decision taking power was in the hands of those people who were in the military officials. And so elections were conducted, but final power rests in the hands of the military officials or in the General Pervez Musharraf. So this is an example. Through this example, what we find that elections were conducted in Pakistan. There were casting of votes by the people, and people had cast vote. Representatives were elected. Government is formed, but the power to take the final decision, that was in the hands of the military leaders or military officials. So even though elections were conducted and other norms of democracy were followed, but the question is, what is given in the example, Pakistan under General Pervez Musharraf, can it be called a democratic country? Can we call it a democratic country? No, we cannot call it a democratic country, because the representatives who were chosen by the people, they did not have the power to take the final decision. So this is an example that shows that democracy or democratic fundamental, if they are not followed, then we cannot say for a particular country that it is a democratic country, because the basic of democracy must be followed. Only just in example of Pakistan, we find that elections were conducted and Pakistan tried to show that it was a democratic country during the period of General Pervez Musharraf. But final power was not given to the representatives who were chosen by the people. So we cannot say that Pakistan was a democratic country. Now we shall discuss the next example. Next example is of China. China has regular elections conducted after every 5 years to form the parliament. The name of their parliament is National People's Congress. So the formation of the National People's Congress is done through the elections, and the elections were conducted after every 5 years. So here the component of democracy, election, is followed, and parliament was very powerful. It has 3,000 members who are going to elect the president in China. But there was a strong condition given in the example of China. The condition is a candidate needs approval of Chinese Communist Party whenever a candidate is going to contest an election. It means if a candidate wants to contest an election, then the candidate needs permission of Chinese Communist Party or 8 smaller parties allied to it. Without the consent of Chinese Communist Party, no one was allowed to contest the election. So this is a condition what we find here, that there is no fair and free and fair electoral system. There was no free and fair electoral system because Chinese Communist Party has more power, or we can say that Chinese Communist Party has all the power to give the permission to a person who is going to contest the election. And after that only that person would be able, candidate would be able to contest the election. So in this way, it is shown here that elections were conducted, but they were not free and fair elections. Can we call those elections free and fair? No, we cannot call, because that Chinese Communist Party's interruption is there. So the government is always formed by Communist Party. There were opposition parties also, but they were not given the chance in this example. So in true sense, China cannot be said a democratic country. Now we are going to discuss the next example. Next example is of Mexico. It got freedom in 1930, and since then till 2000, president's elections were conducted after every 6 years. After every 6 years, not 5 years. So in Mexico in 1930 got freedom, and till 2000 to choose its president, after every 6 years elections were conducted. There was a political party, PRI, and PRI that conducted the election and involved in the election, and they even pressurize the government employees and the teachers and other people to cast their vote in favor of the PRI. And last time the polling booths were also shifted from one place to the other place, so it became difficult for the people to cast their vote. And also it is given that PRI used a huge amount to campaign in favor of the candidates. So all these things, even the elections were conducted, all these things show that it was not a free and fair election which were conducted in Mexico, and it does not follow the basic component of democracy. So in true sense, the example of Mexico cannot be said as a democratic country. Now children, I would like to request you kindly go through these videos as well as the NCERT books, and go through them properly and prepare the notes and the question answers and frame the answers in your own words, but please use the contents which are given in the book. And we would also try to provide you some notes as we have been provided you regularly. So follow those notes and write them in your civics notebook. There is only one notebook that for civics, and that is fairly we have to write all the work, notes and the question answers. Some answers we would provide you, as well as some questions we would provide you as an home assignment. So please try to find out the answers and form the answers and write them in your fair notebook. Thank you.